We all know that following Hurricane Maria, the island of Puerto Rico has been devastated. We've reported before that most of the island is without electricity. I believe right now still like 90% of the island is without electricity. It's an island of about 3.5 million people. We've talked about the slowness of the response of the United States of America, of the Trump administration, to aid the people of Puerto Rico. Trump has been down there. We saw him practicing his basketball skills,
free throws,
doing some free throws with some paper towels in the crowd.
Doing
like this is some
like
joyous event.
Like he's Chef Curry or something.
Yeah, Chef Curry, right? So there's been a lot of criticism, and I believe rightfully so, because again, the response has been slow and it's been disproportionate to other natural disasters that we've seen just weeks prior. Trump decided that he's going to make this situation even worse with his words yet again. Puerto Rico survived the hurricanes. Now a financial crisis looms largely of their own making, says Cheryl Atkinson. He was quoting her. A total lack of accountability, say the governor. Electric and all infrastructure was disaster before hurricanes. Congress to decide how much to spend. We cannot keep FEMA, the military, and the first responders, who have been amazing under the most difficult circumstances in PR, forever.
So Puerto Rico didn't, have the most state-of-the-art infrastructure, or the infrastructure was failing before the hurricane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what does that have to do with hurricane relief? Why are those two things being mixed in with each other? Why? I don't understand him kind of bringing that into discussion. That's a separate discussion.
Like, even if they were irresponsible with their finances, the way they run the island, whatever, even if they were irresponsible with whatever he's talking about, right?
We know what he's talking about. We know what he's talking about. We'll talk about it later. Go ahead.
But if they even if they were irresponsible, a natural disaster hits. Who comes in? Who comes in and saves the day? Because it's like there's a track record of what happens when there's a natural disaster. Who comes in and saves the day?
Well, yeah, if you're talking about whatever financial situation Puerto Rico was in before the hurricane, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But like, they didn't just wave the hurricane over.
Exactly.
They didn't yeah, come on.
They didn't invite it.
They didn't invite it. You know what I'm saying?
To destroy the island? No.
Isn't the United States like in over $20 trillion in debt?
Mm-hmm.
Are we going through disasters right now?
Yeah. Hurricane Katrina. The U.S. spent billions, I believe over $100 billion, and spent years cleaning up that mess in Louisiana and in other states as well. When Hurricane Harvey came trolling through and devastated Texas and Louisiana, I don't remember Donald Trump saying anything about, well, look, man, eventually you're gonna have to, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, get on your own feet and do some work. I mean, we can't be here forever. He didn't say anything about this. So that now he's talking about potentially leaving Puerto Rico. It just lends more credence to him feeling like these people are not a part of us.
And that's the thing. When he says things like, we can't stay here forever. Those are a few
weeks.
I know it's only been a few weeks. And then those are words of somebody who doesn't see Puerto Rico as a part of the country.
We can't stay here forever. Like, here is
America.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about it like so he's not a part of America.
In his own words, he's separating us from Puerto Rico.
The way Trump is acting is not representing the principles of the flag people say they respect.
Mm-hmm.
So they're more concerned with just superficially.
They're just concerned with a knee on the field.
But really not concerned with a president that actually doesn't exemplify the principles that the symbol represents.
We've gone through weeks now since Hurricane Maria has gone. So people, you can't live but what, about 3 days without water. So they're taking chances. They're going to rivers and streams and creeks, and they're drinking this water that could be contaminated, and they're developing this bacterial infection. They're contracting this infection, and the way you contract it, well, why this water is contaminated is because of animals or maybe rodents that are urinating in the water. Now, this infection is treatable. You can treat it with penicillin, some antibiotics, but left untreated, it can be fatal. So that has nothing to do with the devastation that Hurricane Maria left by. Now we're talking about the response. Now we're talking about the slowness of the response. We're talking about the federal government. We're talking about Donald Trump's administration not doing what it should or could be doing for fellow Americans on this island. This is a man that does not believe that Puerto Rico is one of us. He just doesn't. And he's signaling his intention to get up out of there sometime. I mean, like, if you're going to say that just a few weeks after the disaster, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? That's not a patriotic position.
Businessman got to cut costs. He's a businessman. He sees everything through a cost-benefit analysis. So he doesn't see the benefit in it.
But they're part of our budget. They're part of our budget because they are Americans as well.
It doesn't matter.
Because, I mean, but...
It doesn't matter to him.
I mean, like... That would make... I mean, like, it wouldn't make sense. I can't say that would make sense. But even if you're looking at this from a financial perspective and saying that, my goodness, because, you know, he made the joke when he was there in Puerto Rico saying that, hey, you know, you're doing bad things to our budget. I can't remember his exact language, but he's like, oh, you're killing our budget. Even if that was true, did he say the same thing about Texas? Did he say the same thing about Louisiana? No, he did not. He chooses to say this about Puerto Rico and bring in some issue about their debt that is not at all in any way connected to a natural disaster that devastated the island.
Maybe it's because of the people who live there.
They're different, right?
They're different.